All right, y'all, we are back with another video and say it ain't so. It always somebody trying to take down Donald Trump. Now, I've been hearing this for the past couple of days about a lot of people saying that Taylor Swift is trying to help Joe Biden rig the election and trying to help Joe Biden win. I've been hearing this for the longest. I see that Benny had made a video about it. So we definitely need to check it out so we can see exactly what's going on and why is Taylor Swift inserting herself in something like this and trying to help Joe Biden win an election that he is losing really bad at right now. So we got this one say that Donald Trump's campaign responds as Taylor Swift exposed as a Fed op to rig the 2024 election for Joe Biden. Now, we definitely going to check this out. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody showing so much support. Everybody been leaving positive comments in the comment section. I also want to thank everybody who clicked on the video for the very first time. I appreciate all of you. I want everybody to hit this like button so more people can see this video so we can all see what exactly is going on, because they are trying to throw everything but the kitchen sink right now and trying to help Joe Biden. But regardless of the situation, it's not going to work. I don't care who y'all get. Anybody, whatever celebrity you want to go out and get, it still ain't going to defeat the fact that Joe Biden is not beating Donald Trump. So I don't really even care. But let's find out what exactly is going on here, y'all. So let's go ahead and dive straight into it.
Welcome to the program, Caroline. It's an honor to have you on. And we've been talking about some of the low-key celebrity endorsements that Donald Trump's gotten quite randomly from old friends of his. Snoop Dogg, The Rock, praising Donald Trump. Didn't have that on the bingo card, but it must be all smiles at Trump campaign headquarters.
Yes, it certainly is. And I got to say, Benny, you just absolutely nailed it with your response to that video of the African-American woman who was responding to Oprah and The Rock begging hardworking Americans for donations to Maui. That woman is speaking America First policies and agenda. She doesn't even know it, but I'd like to formally welcome her to the MAGA movement. And that's what the MAGA movement is. Yeah. It is everyday, hardworking Americans, regardless of race, religion, geography, where you live, where you're from, your education status, who are sick and tired of seeing the political elite and the cabal that has become of the Democrat Party pushing rules on us and not living by them themselves. And so we welcome everyone to the MAGA movement, no matter how much money you have or where you come from, who is tired of having a political class that wants to live a certain way and then have all of us live another way. And that's what President Trump is all about, putting America first and the American people first. So welcome to that great woman and all those that want to be part of this movement.
We began the show with polling. We'll pop it back up here. In hysterics, the corporate press is, about Donald Trump winning the youth vote. Are you seeing those numbers? Potentially winning the Latino vote, or at the very, or being at parity, which would be unheard of. Winning the black male vote. Like, are you seeing those numbers on your end in the campaign?
Yes, we are seeing President Trump in a very dominant position heading into November. There have been more than 100 public polls to date showing President Trump beating Joe Biden in a head-to-head matchup. And he's sweeping demographics that Republicans have not been able to pick up in more than a half of a century, including the African-American vote. President Trump is making headwinds, polling about 1/4 of African-Americans in this country, 25% roughly, according to many polls, are considering voting for him in November. That is an earth-shattering number for the Democrat Party. And it's because people are waking up. They are realizing that Joe Biden promised to be this unifier in chief who is going to bring success to America, and he's done anything but that. The average American family is paying $11,000 more per year just to have the same exact quality of life as they did under President Trump. And so people, again, of all races and socioeconomic backgrounds are fed up of being ripped off by this thing they've so stupidly called Bidenomics. And that's not even getting to the chaos that we see at our southern border. And obviously the fear that has been instilled in the American public as we watch this world go up in flames. We're barreling towards World War III, thanks to Joe Biden's weakness on the world stage.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We had peace under Trump.
We
And it's
did.
like, it really, like, that seems to be something that is wild, that we have to remind the left, like, weren't you the people protesting the Iraq war and Afghanistan? Like, didn't you were anti-war like a second ago? Like, what happened? And I think that's why you're young. I'm 37. I got young kids at home, and we're like trying to make it in Biden's America. And we're looking at all this cash, just like the lady on the screen, going to Ukraine. And we're saying, what about us? Like, what about this country? Like, this is where we're from. We're like native to this place. Like, this is where we were born. Our grandparents were born here too. And so this is our country. What about us? And young people are saying, it's not working for us. It's why Trump is winning young people. And it does, I think, potentially make history when Donald Trump wins the youth vote. A Republican has never won the youth vote, not in my lifetime, I don't think. Is he on track to do that as a young person yourself? Are you saying these same effects on the demographic that you represent?
Yes. And I will tell you, as a young person, it is very exciting to see the momentum among young voters across this country and the real revival that is taking place amongst Generation Z and millennial Americans who, again, are realizing that they are not better off under Joe Biden. And the American dream that we all grew up hearing about and wanting to strive for is completely unattainable in Joe Biden's America. When Donald Trump was president, mortgage rates were a record 2.65%. It was never cheaper to get a mortgage to purchase a home in American history. Now today, under Joe Biden, because of Bidenomics and his tax and spend policies, mortgage rates are nearing 10% and growing. Gen Z and millennials, the majority of them, are still living at home with their parents because they cannot afford the American dream. And it will be even more unaffordable if we reelect Joe Biden for 4 more years. That's on the economic front. And then when you look at this world, again, young people have always championed peace throughout every war in history. Why? Because our generation that will be sent over to die. Sunday, tragically, we had 3 American soldiers who were needlessly killed in the Middle East, 2 of them in their 20s. Those are members of our American generation who lost their lives because of Joe Biden's weakness on the world stage. And if we want to really restore peace, we got to elect the peacemaker in chief, President Trump, who signed the historic Abraham Accords, who deterred aggression by our enemies, and who made it very clear to the entire world that if you mess with the United States of America, especially our young American soldiers on the front lines, you will pay a very big price. We don't have that same leadership now, and American lives, young American lives, are at risk and are at stake.
Yeah, you're so it's so profound a point that you just made. It's the young people who fight wars, and so young people should be against people, the individuals in our government, Joe Biden represented chiefly among them, who begin new wars. It won't be them who fight. It will be soldiers like this who lose their lives. These are the 3 soldiers who lost their lives in Jordan, and we recognize and remember them. Strangely, this seems to have been swept under the rug quite quickly by the corporate press. What say you to the families of these soldiers, Caroline?
There are no words to explain how sorry we feel and just what a tragedy to lose your loved one. I cannot imagine the pain and the grief and the suffering that the families of these brave American soldiers are feeling. And to watch our White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, go in front of the White House on the North Lawn yesterday and say and refer to these soldiers as, quote, military folks. That is what she said. She said they were just military folks who were over fighting.
She said, she called them let me take that back. Military folks.
Go in front of the White House on the North Lawn yesterday and say and refer to these soldiers as, quote, military folks. That is what she said. She said they were just military folks who were over fighting, not on behalf of this country, but she said they were fighting on behalf of the Biden administration. That is a despicable, egregious, disrespectful statement. And so our hearts are with these soldiers, these brave American heroes who paid the ultimate sacrifice in defense of our nation and our freedom and our Constitution. And I am so sorry. We are so sorry that we don't have a president and a commander in chief right now who wants to protect American lives abroad, wants to deter our enemies, and wants to restore peace around this world. Joe Biden has sent billions of dollars over to the war in Ukraine, but has never announced a strategic plan to end that war. We now have Hamas, Iranian-backed terrorist group, launching attacks on our friend and nation ally Israel. We have hundreds of airstrikes on our military bases. It's because of Joe Biden's weak foreign policy. And unfortunately, more lives will probably be lost before we can get this man out of office in November.
Wow, man, she is speaking facts. I had to hit the horn again for that. And first off, man, Karine Jean-Pierre, she is just pathetic. And she's always constantly getting destroyed by Peter Doocy. He just stays just destroying her. And she will make a remark like that? Oh, they just military folks. That is just despicable. Like, that is, man, I just don't get it. Joe Biden, I've said this numerous of times, how this man done destroyed this country, and he is continuing to do that. I'm telling you right now, if they trying to find a way to get Joe Biden reelected, we would not have a country. We won't even have a country. Look what we going through now. Look what we going through now because of this man. Look what's happening at the border. Look what Texas just had to do. Look what's going on. Illegal immigrants coming across the border. We got wars going on. Everything, the cost is so freaking high right now. Can't really buy houses, anything, because of Joe Biden. Just like Benny them said, when Trump was in office, we didn't go through any of this stuff. You ain't see everything skyrocketed. No, you didn't see that. But ever since Joe Biden has been in office, all of us have been going through hell. Going through hell because of this man. And he can't see, he just don't know what he's doing. The Democrats know Joe Biden don't know what he's doing. You think they finna get this man 4 more years? Because that's what they trying to do now. They trying to use Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift has a big fan base. So I guess they trying to use her to persuade her fan base to help Joe Biden win the election over Donald Trump. And regardless of what they try to do, I understand a lot of people bring up Snoop Dogg. I've heard a lot of people say they don't trust The Rock or Snoop Dogg because they kind of flip-flop. 1 minute they with Joe Biden, 1 minute now they backsiding with Donald Trump. A lot of people say they just don't know. A lot of people say they just don't even trust celebrities no more when it comes to politics. Because like I said, this is just crazy. We've been going through too much. And we all know that we need Donald Trump back in office if we're going to get this country back to where it's supposed to be. There's no way we can handle 4 more years of Joe Biden destroying our country. There's no way. We got to get Trump back in there. And I know he is. He's winning in the polls. I mean, the youth, he's just taking over everything right now. Shout out to Donald Trump because everybody believes in him. They know Donald Trump is going to get the job done. They know this. So now you got to watch the left. They throwing everything but the kitchen sink at Donald Trump of trying to get this man out. They don't want him running. They're trying to get him thrown off ballots still that I see. Trying to get him locked up. So it's so much stuff going on right now. But Donald Trump is going to find a way to get out of all of this. And he's going to be reelected in November. That's why they mad.
So I know that this audience is deeply invested in the president's vice presidential pick.
Yep.
They are very curious about where the movement will go. This audience loves.
Hey, she already smiling, boy. It get to the point where she think Ben from Grand asked her, "Do you know who you think it's going to be?" Because look, y'all heard me say I done said Vivek, which I started off with Tucker Carlson, but at this point I don't even know if Tucker Carlson going to do it because he was telling Bennett that he think Trump should pick Vivek, and then Donald Trump been calling a lot of people. And everybody been telling him to pick Vivek as his vice president because you got to think about it. Who's going to be running the country after Donald Trump because he can only do 4 more years. So Donald Trump got to think like, okay, who can run this country after I'm done in 4 years. And then if you look at it, that's why I said, because, I even said Elise Stefanik. I even said her as well. I would take Elise Stefanik as well. But if you look at Vivek, he's somebody that can kind of handle himself. He's good on the microphone. He got some new ideas and stuff. And I can kind of see Vivek running the country after Donald Trump. I can really, really see that, But let's see what she say, though, because she's smiling.
MAGA loves the energy and wants it to be carried forward. Obviously, this audience has also seen Mike Pence and what can happen when somebody decides to be a Judas to their own side and betray the movement that brought them.
Yep.
And so a lot of people care quite deeply about who Donald Trump picks to be vice president. Also, Donald Trump constitutionally will be limited to 1 term since he's already served a term. And so obviously this choice reigns quite in front of mind. Do you have any insights or any updates on the vice presidential pick? Donald Trump did say on Fox News it's already done. He's already made his decision. Is that true? Any hints?
Well, I will say this. We greatly appreciate the curiosity from your audience, and we understand the importance of this decision by the president. With that said, he has said publicly that the main quality he is seeking in a vice president is someone who will be an effective and great leader after his term ends. And so that's the top of mind for him. I'm sure whoever it is will be a great pick for the American public. Lessons learned from the past, most definitely. And there's a lot of great options on the table. The Republican Party has a very deep bench of great America First conservative leaders who will be able to take the reins quite effectively. And so we'll have to see what the president decides. Frankly, we are not focused on that here at Trump headquarters. We are focused on 2 things. One of them is winning the general election in November and beating up Joe Biden every single day for all of the atrocities he's raining on this nation. But secondly, we're making sure that we wrap up this primary very soon. We still have a rhino, never Trump Republican that is clinging to life. That is Nikki Haley. And so we're focused on exposing the truth about Nikki Haley, who, by the way, also wants to continue the endless wars abroad that we've seen killing American soldiers. And so we need to make sure that we get the Republican Party to unify, put Nikki Haley's failing campaign to bed, and then we'll take the fight to Joe Biden. And you'll hear from the president in due time about his VP pick.
Caroline, speaking of Trump's words on Joe Biden, Trump said recently that he doesn't believe that Joe Biden will make it to the gate in 2024, that there would have to be some type of switcheroo that happens because of Joe Biden's health or so on. Besides the point of, is Joe Biden fit to serve in office, is that strategic inside of the campaign? I mean, are you planning on Joe Biden being the nominee?
That's a good question.
On November 2024?
Well, right now, it appears that Joe Biden, they're going to drag him over the finish line, even if he's in a wheelchair to do it. However, of course, we will be prepared to face any Democrat nominee. We do expect that to be Joe Biden, but maybe not. And regardless, it doesn't matter because any Democrat would implement the same exact policies that Joe Biden has inflicted on the American public in the past 4 years, raising taxes.
I like her answer right there. All they're going to do is keep raising taxes. That whatever policies that Joe Biden has, they just going to come right behind him and do the same thing. So at this point, like I said before, it don't really matter who's running. It really don't matter because I've said this plenty of time. I don't care who's over there running, whether they do some type of switcheroo at the last minute. It don't really matter. Some people said Michelle Obama. Some people said Gavin Newsom. We don't know, and we really don't care. All that we know is that regardless of who it is, Donald Trump is still going to win.
Spending more money than we have, hiking up inflation, hiking up gas prices, hampering our domestic energy production, sending billions of dollars overseas while not taking care of our homeless veterans in the streets. And then also, of course, these wide open border policies that are wreaking havoc in every corner of American society with no end or plan to stop that as well. And so it doesn't matter who the Democrat is. We will take our message of peace and prosperity and protection and President Trump's unprecedented record to deliver on his promises for the American people. And that will be a winning message no matter who we face, Joe Biden or any other Democrat.
Right.
I have one real tough question for you before we close. And I hope you don't mind. Our audience are big fans of you and the work that you do. And you choose your words very accurately and carefully, powerfully. You're a
Yep.
great spokesperson on behalf
Yep.
of the president, good press secretary. Because you're so good at that, we hope that you could help our show out. We have a clip of Joe Biden from just a few days ago where we don't think he's speaking English. We were hoping that you could translate for us, Caroline.
Which clip? There's
We're
so
going to
many.
play it for you right now. And maybe you, as a professional, okay, we're novices, but as a professional, perhaps you could help us translate what Joe Biden is saying here.
Let's do it.
By the way, used to make beer brewed here. It is used to make the brew beer in this refinery.
What?
Oh, Earth Riders.
What the word did he say? I don't even know what he said.
That's a tough one. I think I heard making bigger boo brew here. If that's even a sentence, which I don't believe it is.
It could be the campaign slogan going forward. Put it on a bumper sticker. Baking boo beer brew here. Biden Harris 2024. Final thoughts. Do you think Taylor Swift's going to come out and endorse Joe? Do you think that this is all a big setup?
That's the word on the street. The Democrats are pushing for it. They're calling it their Hail Mary pass to drag Biden over the finish line. Here's the deal. I don't think people are going to take advice from someone who flies around on a private jet, has private security, when they're paying thousands of dollars more just to live. That might not be a lot of money for Taylor Swift. She may not feel the impact of Bidenomics, but millions of people across this country are. She should stick to writing songs. And by the way, Betty, this woman has made a career off of writing songs about picking the wrong guy. We should not trust her to pick the wrong guy in this presidential election.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Writes songs about how horrible her decision-making process is with men, endorses Joe Biden. Yeah, you got it. Okay, good. There you go. There's the catalog owned by George Soros.
Exactly.
Oh, this has been fantastic. Thank you. Godspeed. You have obviously a big job ahead of you, and we look forward to you coming back on the program. We know the audience supports you. And again, Godspeed.
Shout out to Caroline, man. She did great, though, man. She was speaking some facts, but obviously that's what the Democrats are trying to do, trying to push Taylor Swift to endorse Joe Biden, to try to persuade all her fans to help Joe Biden win the election. But like I said, it's not going to work. It's just not. And that's all I got to say about that. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think about all of this. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.